Today we're making herb salt. It's really quick, really easy, and it's a great way to use up the herbs that may be in abundance in your garden, your neighbor's garden, or at the market. Herb salt is super tasty, sprinkled on top of sliced tomatoes or cucumbers, on corn on the cob, on top of deviled eggs or avocado toast, pasta, fish, you get the idea. So let's get cooking. To make our herb salt, all we need are 3/4 of a cup of herbs and a cup of coarse salt. Here I've got basil. You can use cilantro, parsley, sage, oregano, or any combination of herbs you like. And I'm using kosher salt, obviously sea salt, anything else along those lines is great. I'm going to be giving my herbs, my basil, a rough chop here. If you're using something that's already smaller, you don't even need to bother with that. Once my herbs are chopped, I'm going to add them to the jar of a blender along with the salt, and we will be blending that to break the herbs up even smaller. If you don't have a blender handy but you have or prefer to use a food processor, great. The other thing that will work is I douse my counter with herbs would be a molcajete, also known as a mortar and pestle. That will certainly do the job too. The idea here is just to get the herbs broken down a bit further. All right, put the lid on. I'm just going to pulse that a few times. All right, and that should do the trick. You can see that those herbs are broken up into pretty small pieces. A few little bigger bits are okay in here. And now what we'll do is pour that out onto a lined baking sheet, and we're going to be putting this into a very low oven, really just to dry out. So with a butter knife here. Make sure to get all of that out. We're going to spread that out across the baking sheet. And we'll be putting this into a 170-degree oven for about 30 minutes or so, just until the moisture from those basil leaves has evaporated. If you're working with an herb that is naturally drier, like rosemary, you might not need to have that in there just as long. And as soon as that feels like it's really dried out, it's done in the oven, and we'll see how it looks then. Our herb salt is nice and dry after 30 minutes in a low oven. I did stir it a bit to break up a few clumps, and now that it's all the way cool, which only took a few more minutes, it is ready to go into a jar and be stored in the pantry. I'm going to use the parchment paper here to pour that in. Like so. And there we have it, herb salt. We hope you give this a try, and you check back every Friday at 4 o'clock for a new recipe.